May 22nd here in southern Ontario, Canada. So I'm going to try and do a brief video on what's a complex issue here in Canada, that being our international students. Because what we see happening right now is it's largely East Indian students, if not exclusively, protesting in the province of Prince Edward Island that they should remain eligible for postgraduate work permits. A little bit of background. In 2023, there were more than 1 million international students, a 30% increase from 2022. So, what we have happening is Prince Edward Island will no longer grant work permits for low-skilled workers. They'll grant work permits for nurses and such that we need, but low and no skilled, no, they don't want to do it. They can't, they don't have the housing, etc. So let's get into our whole permanent residency business. That's when you become a Canadian citizen off of this international student program.
Excuse me, didn't you say a lot of them aren't, what do you call it, legally to be?
Oh, well, okay, you make a good point. In Brantford, Ontario alone, there's 80 diploma mills. That means no bricks and mortar schools. They just you can basically buy a diploma and hence say you are a graduate of the international student programs. There's also fake admission letters. It's a whole nother subject matter. I can't even begin to touch on it here. Is that what was your inquiry?
Yes, but I won't ask any more questions at the moment on that.
Well, okay. Let's get into, from the government website, how long to work after graduation for permanent residency. The first thing we have is a postgraduate work permit, which is typically valid for 3 years. PGWP. The second is a Canadian experience class, which requires at least 1 year of full-time work. But having more working experience can increase the chances of being invited to apply for permanent residency. That's the Canadian Experience Class, CEC. I'm going to make the assumption, because I didn't look into it, that this is more for skilled workers that we need.
That we need?
Well, nurses, doctors.
Okay.
We don't need more people pouring Tim Hortons coffees.
No.
This is what it's all about down in Prince Edward Island. They're saying, hey, we just don't need more low and unskilled postgraduate workers in our province. Anyways, back to the third category is express entry. Candidates need at least 1 year of full-time work experience, but more work experience can improve their chances under the comprehensive ranking system, the CRS score. Now, sort of back to Prince Edward Island, we have the provincial nominee programs, PNPs. Some PNPs require a minimum of 6 months to 1 year of work experience in the province to get your permanent residency. Think the Northwest Territories and way up there, you can work less time to get your permanent residency after your school system. What do they call that? The international student program. You've passed your international school program. Hopefully it's not fududdery through, you just bought a certificate. So anyways, this comes down to Prince Edward Island again. I mean, where does a student want to serve his work term? He doesn't want to go up to the Northwest Territories, Yellowknife, whatever. He wants to be in Ottawa, or not Ottawa, Toronto, Vancouver, somewhere nice. So, but you can shorten your work requirements by going to the northern, I'll say the territories. So this is what's happening here in Canada. We have people paying for certificates from paper mills. Again, they're not a brick and block or a brick and mortar school. And what's happening in Prince Edward Island is, and often the immigrants are victims to this, okay? They came in, they actually went to school, they didn't cheat, and then they find themselves shortchanged because they all went to school, say, often with this PEI thing. They went to school in Ontario, they went to the province of Prince Edward Island thinking they would have work, and the province said, no, we have too many unskilled people, we need skilled people. So they're actually protesting. Now these people aren't permanent residents. Question?
Yes, so does that mean that, I did hear that they said that some of them ended up going back home because there was no work, is that true?
Well, yeah, some of them, I mean, a great many number of them find this isn't the land of milk and honey they were sold on, but they're mostly the honest ones, I'll call it. And I'm probably going to get slag in the comments for this, but the people who are playing by the rules, some of them are getting shortchanged because they're doing the right thing, and then they find a province kind of closes the doors to what they thought they were going to be doing, I'll say legitimately. The province of Manitoba sort of yielded on this, folded if you will. Consult my notes here. I think they went with a 2-year extension. Yes. They said, okay, well, we're just going to extend these work permits after the student postgraduate permits. And then we have, what's his name, Carrot Top, our Minister of Immigration, who said the way to solve all of this is to just give everybody amnesty and give them permanent residency. Right? Yeah. So I saw you choke there. Yeah, we made mistakes and we have big problems with all of this. So we'll just give everybody a free pass. And again, I want to point out that in 2023, there were over 1 million international students, which was a 33% increase from 2022. And we're actually increasing the number of international student permits in 2024. So how do you think this is working? Let me know in the comments. Long video, I'm sorry. Any questions?
Well, I think every year they're increasing.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
And we don't have the space, and also, maybe I shouldn't say this, but it takes away some of our own people from jobs and places to live.
Well, absolutely. We have a housing crisis. We have a healthcare crisis. I mean, it's not these people's fault. Okay, some of them are cheating the system. Yes, we have no idea how many. That's the federal government's fault. We don't know how many international students are abusing these lax systems. The well-intended ones, it's not their fault. They come here, they were sold the land of milk and honey only to find, yes, we have a housing crisis. Yes, there's not medical care, etc., etc. We've been bringing in 1 million people a year under one program or another since 2015, since our haircut at the helm got the helm, and we've made no provisions for this monetarily, and again, this goes into housing, healthcare, etc. So when you talk about the subject matter, and there will be someone in the comments who say, well, I'm racist, I'm prejudiced, I'm whatever. No, I'm not. It's not a matter of those issues. It's a matter of our federal government just being inept. Would that be a polite way of saying it?
I'm sorry?
Inept? Stupid? Making no plans, no provisions. We bring in 1 million people a year and we make no allowances for it in our social structure. So, anyways, we tried to make that brief. It wasn't, but that's kind of where we're at. And oh, I'll just leave the video here because I move on. Let me know what you think in the comments.